Assalamualaikum and very good morning. First question, can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you log in through the attendance? Still cannot. Cannot submit attendance.
Cannot, doctor.
Never mind lah.
Yeah, can.
It's okay. I think I have to really complain this time. Wait Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning again. Actually, before we proceed with the tutorial, and I think the tutorial one is very simple. You should be able to do that. It's just a matter of to get familiar with the DrawIO. But then I think now that for the online version, they don't call it as a DrawIO, right? They call it something I forgot already. But then once you type in DrawIO, it will put you through to that link. Do you have any problem?
No.
With the drawing? Please make use.
No.
I mean, get familiar with that. Okay. DrawIO is not a compulsory tool to use. Okay, you may use other tool as well. This one is just the one that both of us, me and Dr. Hazrina, are using right now because because we can do it online. If you have other tools that you can draw for the design, the UML, so it should be no problem. Because I know that there are some it's not that easy actually using the DrawIO compared to the real tool that you can download, because there are something that you using DrawIO you really have to there's no much automation. If you can download something like rational rows, last time during but it's quite expensive lah, for example rational rows, that one is mainly for design. I'm not sure whether they have an online version or not, but it's quite automatically. So everything like you can easily drag and drop compared to DrawIO. Maybe DrawIO because of this online, I'm not sure. Okay, but never mind. Regardless, whatever tool that you plan to use, you choose to use for this semester, make familiar with it, because I think throughout the session, throughout this course, we are going to use a lot of tool because we don't have whiteboard, isn't it? So you have to do that lah. Okay, alright. So before I proceed with the tutorial, I would like to finish this one because it seems like tutorial 2 cover this part. Okay, so I just go through very fast on this object because we have learned it Java programming 1, but then this one is more theoretical. Bear in mind, even though you are a good programmer, if you don't really understand the concept, then you will designing the program wrong. Okay, so basically what is object? All right, so object is an abstraction of something in the problem domain reflecting the capability of the system. Basically anything you can see in this world and you cannot see in this world. All right, you can put it as an object. Once you declare something as an object, it means that there is some information that you can talk about it. There is something that you can the object can interact with. Okay. So in object-oriented concept methodology, object must have state, behavior, and identity. So if it doesn't have state, behavior, and identity, then it's hardly to say that as an object. However, most of the thing in this world, even ghosts have state. Ghosts also has behavior. So basically everything, that's why I told you that most of the thing in this world, I can say that is an object, even thing that you cannot see. let's say virtual machine. Can you see virtual machine? Not really, right? But then you can develop it, then you can tell about it. It has behavior, so it is an object. So for example, is a person, shirt, sale, bottle of ketchup, okay? So the identity, a person is like a name, no? And then what that person can do, and then what is the state, okay? State is just like status. This word state is very critical for this course because you're going to use it again in the state diagram. So bear in mind, every time you go to your Facebook, you can see there is a status there, friend, unfriend, block, that is a status, state, okay? So why we need to understand this object oriented? Because of this situation, okay? For example, you have to find a green car. How to make this one? What is this? What is this? Oh, okay. Sorry, So because we have a lot of object in this world, due to that, it's better you can organize all of these things. So if you can arrange all of these junks into this proper box, then you can easily find car, you can easily find animal toy, right? So that is why object-oriented come up with another term. They call it as a class. All right. Usually, in layman language, we call it as a group. We categorize is quite a high-level language. Usually, we say we group it into So, but then, as a programmer, as a computer science student, we don't use the word group. We use class. Okay, we class all the objects based on its instances. So basically, the class describe a set of objects with similar feature. Feature, if we relate with the programming, is an attribute lah. Alright, and then is operation, the method, the function, okay, and then if it has a relationship, means that you got many. One object can talk with another object, or maybe between, yes, something like that, right? And then we have another thing about the description of the class, which is about the semantic. We don't really go into semantic for your level. This one is higher level. Semantic and the constraint, what the object can do and cannot do. So when you know how to differentiate between object and class, then you go to another terminology, which is generalization and specialization. This one you have done it in Java using inheritance, right? Extend, use extend. So example, a person is a generalization of employee, customer and supplier. Customer is a specialization of a person. So be careful of this term. Okay, general and specialized. Okay, so for example, in your case, your program is a computer science. You are taking computer science, but you are specialized in artificial intelligence, software engineering. Okay, so this is a more general bits of description that are abstracted out from specialized classes. Okay, so it shows the attribute. Okay, this is the notation for this class. Okay, before we go into further about this, basically this is a notation about a class. All right, it is in the box with the 3 compartment. Okay, and then this arrow, blank arrow, with this triangle shape, it shows inheritance to show the generalization and specialization between the classes. Okay. So why I have to stress on this? Because there are some tools do not use this, okay? But we are using UML 2.0. So UML 2.0 says that generalization must be in the form of this. So this is the superclass level and this is the subclass level. Okay. So inheritance, basically what I have told you just now. So I will not go into this anymore. So if we refer back to the same diagram, what does it mean generalization and specialization in terms of code? Okay. So it means that here is the superclass level, employee is the superclass for system analyst and driver. So the attribute of employee, which are name, employee number, and start date, can be inherited by system analyst. What does it mean? When I ask you what are the attributes for system analyst, then you must say name, employee number, start date, monthly salary, and grade. You cannot simply say monthly salary and grade. So it means it's wrong. When it comes to implementation, system analysts can access all of this. Okay, same thing goes to driver. Can you have one superclass and one subclass? Any answer? Now we have one superclass, two subclasses. So my question is, can you have one superclass and one subclass? Answer? Muhammad Irfan say yes. Ong also say yes. Eng also say yes. Okay, mostly say yes, can. As usual, why do you say yes? Cannot two superclasses. Okay. Before we go to two superclasses, why you say you can have one superclass and one subclass? Why you can have that? On what basis that you say that you can have one superclass and one subclass? Now, all employee is a system analyst. Okay. So those who are not system analysts, then what are they? Because you haven't. That is not the case. Okay. Yes, can, but would be inefficient. Okay. Efficient in terms of what? When you say about efficient, what time? What does it mean? So you have to go back to the concept of generalization and specialization. Generalization and specialization, or easy to say inheritance, created because of similar attributes and similar methods. Some similar attributes and some similar methods among the classes. Okay, for example, you got what now? Animal, human, plant. The same thing between them, they are living thing. So it means there are some kind of what they have heart or what some, you know. So but then if in this world there is only human, how can you say it is a living thing? There is no animal, there's no plant. Let's say you are the only one living in the moon, you are the only living thing, right? For example, without the small microorganism or whatever lah, okay? Correct, Chen Yi. If only one subclass, you can just put it in the superclass. So what's the point of having one superclass and one subclass? Just make it one class lah. Because there is no similarity. There's no such thing as similar or same thing that share together. There's no such thing as share because it's the same thing. If you say your argument is because there are some there are some system analysts there are some employee that is not system analyst, then my next question is, who are they then if they are not system analysts? If they are something like driver in this case, then you can come up with another one. Okay, so it means that if you design one superclass that have only one subclass, so it means you are doing it wrong. Syntactically correct, but what's the purpose then? Semantically wrong. Okay. Muhammad Fuad Hassan baru join tanya pasal attendance. The attendance is still not working. I will figure out later. Okay. And then there is another one. People, okay, Muhammad Ifan said about cannot have two superclasses. No, you are wrong. So far, I understand that you have learned Java and Python. I'm not sure about other languages. Both do not support two superclasses. However, if you have the opportunity to learn C, C++, C#, you are allowed to have many superclasses. Okay, so now we are in the software modeling class, which we don't really care about the language. So what does it mean? It means I can give you any syntax of programming language. Let's say suddenly I give you a Fortran syntax and then you have to design from that. Because for me, by right, by now you already understand it is about attribute, it is about class, you know. So designing is meant for any languages. Okay, you are allowed to have many superclasses, but Java do not allow that due to some reason lah. But then for me, last time I learned C, so I have many superclasses. Okay. Alright, next is about instances of each subclass include the characteristic. This one is the one that I told you just now lah. Okay, so in this class, you are going to translate most of the questions, or even in the real situation as a programmer, it's a sentence form. People tell you what they want. So in this class, I tell you what I want based on the case study. I give you a case study, all right? So you have to understand the sentence. If you have problem with English, then please learn, okay? So, because every single word means something for software modeling. So for example, inheritance means is a, okay? So dog is an animal, something like that. Okay. Another thing about object-oriented is a message passing. Fortran tak ada classes, sorry saja je lah. You tahu You know Okay, sorry. Message passing and encapsulation. Okay. So another thing about object-oriented is about message passing. Message passing is about the methods, the one that you created, the method that you created that can you pass, it can communicate between methods using the variable, or the method of class A can communicate with another class again through attribute. The attribute will be as an object. Okay, message passing is message passing happen to all programming languages, of course, because the methods we communicate with each other. Alright. However, in object-oriented, it has another term we call it as an encapsulation. Alright, encapsulation allows you to hide information. That's why they got private, protected. Okay, so that there are some things in your implementation that cannot be seen by even by the programmer. Okay, by the end user lah. So this is the information hiding. For example, in Java, you have system outprint, right? So that system outprint is you know how does it work? Not really, isn't it? So there are so many things that is hiding inside system outprint. Okay. I'm not sure about Fortran Tio. Last time I didn't use class or object for Fortran. It's very straightforward. I don't think it has class. I'm not sure. Double check. Okay, polymorphism. Polymorphism is that is the strength of object-oriented because they allow the object to change from dog to cat, from shape circle to rectangle, for example. Okay. We don't really go for this. This one is a different kind of example, polymorphism, where you say about where you have a function speak, and then sound, for example, that sound can be in the form of speak as a human, quack, woof, meow, right? So this is another example for polymorphism. So it formed to another object based on the parameter. Usually lah, that easy one. Okay, calculate pay, you got so many calculate pay, but then it will have different print out based on get total pay here. Okay, this one fixed monthly amount depend on the employee grade, monthly amount grade and hour, monthly amount depend on grade but no pension deduction. So it's different. Okay, but you are calling through the same function. Okay, so the advantages can save effort, can improve software quality. So I don't have to tell you this because all of us, I think for the last 10 years, everything is object oriented. It's obviously make life so easy. Okay, as now we have this different framework for the development. Okay, never mind. So that's all for object oriented. Okay, in the theory part, I hope you understand clearer because we have done it before. Okay, so this one is just, even though it's like revisit, but then usually after we have learned it many times, then you will have better ideas. Okay, however, as a programmer, you also have to know the traditional way, the one that I learned so many years last time, then been practiced. Okay, so this is the one that we call it as a structured analysis and design technique, SAD. Okay, last time my class they call it as a structured analysis and design methodology, so we call it SADAM. We have this course, we call it SADAM. So it's a structured, we call it a structured. Basically, there are two types that we are focusing on. First is the process, another one is the data. That's it. There's no such thing as object, class, group together. No such thing as that. Okay, so because when you develop a system, these are the two things that you have to think of. One is the process, another one is the data. Right, that's all. That's what we got now, big data. And then for process, that's why we have this computational photography. Anyone have seen the YouTube iPhone? You know, like as a CS people, that you cannot run away from all this gadget, right? Okay, structure, analysis, and design. Okay, for the process model is again in the graphical way, representing how the business system should operate. For example, it's a flowchart lah. That is the easy one. And the data model, the one you learn in the database. Okay, what are the table that you're going to develop, and then what are the things that what message that you're going to use. Okay, so that the data can communicate. Alright, the diagram in SADT is in the user's boxes. Okay, represent entity and activities and variety of arrows for relationship. Okay, and then boxes and arrow have an associated semantic. User are aided by box and arrow labels, other informal documentation. Last time we really stressed on data dictionary. I think I'm not sure whether you learn it in the database, but then you must know how to come up with the data dictionary, because not all people understand what do you mean by your table. Okay, so we have data flow diagram. So it means that you focus on the data, how it works. Okay, data flow diagramming is a technique that diagrams the business processes and the data that pass among them. Okay, focus is mainly on the process or activity that are performed. Right? So what you have to do is create a list of activities. For example, let's say you want to develop a system, accommodation system. Okay, I always use this accommodation system example. Okay, and then um, when you think about, okay, if I have to develop an accommodation system for my college, okay, so the first thing that already, that you can imagine of is the process of the interfaces, right? Okay, first user log in or register, and then log in, and then can choose college that they want to stay. All right. So basically the activity. Okay. So last time there is no use case. Use case uh, uh, was there once the object-oriented modeling proposed by Bush, I think. Okay. But now we have use case. So this is how we diagram last time. We have a system in the middle. Okay. Let's say I told you just now the accommodation system, right? So you put here accommodation system. So this is the number 0. Okay, the ground 01. And then who are going to use that? Okay, student, fellow, like the college administrator. Okay, I think HR maybe. Okay, or the UMHR for example. So how do you use this system? So this is the communication. You put everything here. Then after that, you break it into detail. Okay, you remove the 0, and then how do you explain the 0? What are the data involved? The new vehicle, rejected offer, record. This is the process lah. This is the user. This is the process. So for the record offer, what are the process involved? Okay. And then you choose one, focusing on number 3. Okay. Because now suddenly 3, 4, 5. No one. Okay. I think there's no. By right, there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So see, I think they remove 1 and 2. Doesn't matter. But for record offer, this is the main process. Number 3. This record offer. Salesperson. Is a communication between here to here. Okay. And then they explain what does it mean by record offer by having the FD level 1. Then you got 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. Okay, so I will not go into detail about this. It's very interesting. If you have time, you can study this so that if people show you this, you are not really blur. Okay, so because it is the original of current methodology. So these are the notation of the FD, because this course will not focus on this, but I have to show you this, all right, so that you know that we are using Gain and Sarsen. Last time they have Jordan, Gimanko and Jordan, but doesn't matter. So if you see someone show you, because I believe that there are some of your friends study in private college, especially private college, there's some courses that still learn this in detail, in serious way. Okay, so if they show you this, then say that, oh, it's wrong, it should be in the rectangle, blah blah, in the box. No, they might use DeMarco and Jordan, which is in the round. Okay, so this is the notation. Another one is ERD. ERD you have in database in detail, right? So basically, it's a picture which shows the information that is created, stored, and used by a business system. So this is how it looks like. Launch chemical applicator, makes chemical requests, involved in chemical. Chemical involved chemical requester is made by non-chemical applicator, something like that. Alright, these are the attributes. So it means if I look at this, what I understand is you're going to have 3 tables named non-chemical applicator, chemical request, and chemical table in the whatever tools you use, right? And then these are the attributes. Okay, so this crawl, this one we call it as crawl. Somewhere I didn't call it here. Crossfoot. Okay, this crawl means the visibility, the multiplicity between two entity. Blank, this one is you don't name it. Okay, you just say it's a student enrolled university. Okay, and then if like this, it means 1 to 1. This one many to many. This one and only one. One and only one students will have one and only one chair. Right. Okay. 0 or 1. 1. This one and only one. This one 0 or 1. See. Student, no student. One student must have one social security number. There is no social security number, it means for student. If there is no social security number, then there is no student. Oh, I know. One student can also have no social security number. Yes, correct. So they're talking about one and only one student can have one security number, or one and only one student can have no at all social security number. This is 0. And then you have one too many. This is the crawl looks like lah. Sorry. And 0 too many. So this is the crossfoot. I think there is a question about this in tutorial 2, I guess. Right. Okay. So the ERD, it looks like whether you want to use IDEF1X, Chan, or crossfoot. But now I believe you use Chan. It's much. It's quite a standard now. Everyone use this one. Okay, it's easy to understand, I guess. But I don't see people use attribute name using this. This one and this one, right? Okay. All right. So the versus object oriented and SADT. So the methodology object oriented is incremental, iterative, structured is ADLC. Okay, just like I like to tell you this because I think not all of you knows about this. The good thing about object oriented is more on the application part and the design part, the how you can enhance the system and all. And then and as a developer, you also can easily translate it to your programming, to the technology, the platform, the architect, new framework, not everything Laravel, Django, all this framework is based on OO. Okay. Incremental, it means that you can develop from the beginning, from the time you interview the end user, what do you want from the system? Then you can start develop already. Right? Structured, you collect the information first, and then design, and then after that, you program, and then you test, and then you deploy. Okay? So if anything happen during the testing part, then you have to go back to the programming, and then there's nothing wrong, but then there is error, and then you have to go back to the design, and then you found something, we designed it wrong here, and then you can go back to the requirements. It means that our requirement is wrongly written on the document of SRS, software requirement specification, is wrong. So it means you have to do that one by one. Okay, so it looks like more or less the same, but then for incremental, the good thing is you can jump. You can jump straight away, go to the from testing, go straight away to the design. You can jump. Okay, it looks like object-oriented is good, but sometimes when it comes to money, when it goes to project management, where you have a project from outside, in my case, I still prefer SDLC. Why? Because in case you want to have your own company later on, suddenly I forgot everything. I prefer to use SDLC because when I collect the requirements, then I will ask them whether it's correct or not. And then they say it's correct, then we design. And then I ask them again, is it correct or not? Then that's why we use visual, because it's easy to understand. They're also easy to understand. So then when they said they agree, then okay, then we go for development. And then we go to test. Once we test, once the user say, oh, we do not want this, then we can say you already agreed on the design. So if you want something else, then you have to pay us more. That's the good thing about SDLC lah, which unfortunately I still use. But when it comes to development, of course lah, we use all the framework blah 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 blah, because it's very fast. Can click suddenly dah siap dah. That is a different story altogether. But the process, the managing of the project. But then for the company who get used to the development, they don't want that. They want to have the fast delivery. That's why we got all this agile object. Agile is object oriented lah. It's fast. So it means it's open to change of requirements. So you have to have another technique to limit the requirements for end user. Because if your end user is from computer science, with the computer science background, so easy lah. Imagine kalau from someone yang macam, let's say you develop system for entertainment industry. Do you think they understand? No. They always want something fun, and then functional, everything complete in one thing. So, matilah you. Alright. So this is the difference. You can read this. Okay. Nurul asked me, Doctor, when should we use one and only one? One is in object-oriented. One and only one only happen in the cross-put. For in object-oriented in UML, one and only one is the same thing for us. It means one to something. One student can register many subjects. But in the real situation, let's say just now they have one student can use just one chair. Right. But then the notation put that one and only one student can sit on one and only one chair. Yeah, it's same thing as one student for one chair. For object-oriented, it's okay. Doesn't matter. Okay. Did I answer your question? When do we use structured modeling? This one you kena fikir lah. Things to ponder upon. When do we use structured modeling, SADT? Because you still have to know. So it means that, there are some people still using it. In what situation? You are still using structured modeling. Okay. This one I will not give you the answer. You got google.com in front of you. You can search. Read. Okay. So this is the key point. A model is an abstract representation of something real or imaginary. A diagram illustrates some aspect of a system, while a model provides a complete view. So don't forget about this at a particular stage and from a particular perspective. And the UML model is defined using diagrams that are defined in the UML specification. UML means Unified Modeling Language. Okay. So since we are using UML based on object-oriented, it means that I assume you already understand what does it mean by object, class, and instance. Okay, generalization, specialization, message passing, and polymorphism. Okay, and then the original, the history of the method, our current methodology, it comes from SADT, Structured Analysis and Design Technique. It's a traditional approach and it's focusing only in two things, process and data model. Okay. So you can refer, this one is very old book, sorry. There are so many, again, so many, you can refer to any textbook. Okay. So any questions so far? So anyone has problem with the DrawIO? Macam apa ni? Tak pandai. Anyone has problem with the DrawIO? Senang, right? Let me show the easy one. I don't know. Is it me who is slow or what? I'm not sure. Let's say we go to here, and then you go to here, and then you go to here, and then you enter, and then they go to apps diagram. They say apps diagram. That's what I just said. If you go, last time they call it as draw.io.net. Now they change to app.diagram. And then since you are using Sysmail, I'm using UML, and then you have class and everything is here, right? You can check UML, you got, what's this? Tak nampak. I think in your PC better lah kot. Already have everything, even better. The one that you have to draw is what, activity Apa? Yeah. And then you can name it sample saja. Great. This one, if you want to change the drive, okay, which folder lah. If not, then we go to the root Google Drive. Tada! What else do you want? Senang kan? So this one, tak payah ajar pun tak apa. So click kat sini, and then you got UML, even better, straight away UML because it has everything. This is the one that I told you. It has extra relation. It has this extent. Okay lah. Our extent is like this one, the inheritance. Okay, and everything lah is here. You can have. Okay. If you want more, then you can search. And then you drag je lah. What else? Then takkan nak ajar malu. Okay. So I think that's for tutorial 1. Okay. I will not discuss tutorial 2 today because I thought I don't have enough time, but now it's only 9:45. So any other question? My plan is to discuss tutorial 2 in class.
Good morning, Doctor.
Morning.
May I ask about the project? The project we
Sure.
the project we just follow the package manager, right?
Package manager. Sorry?
The
The work package, the description.
we just follow that one, right?
Yeah. Which part that you do not want to follow? Which one
No.
that you do not understand?
Project work package. So we just follow the project brief. Everything we just follow the week stated when we need to pass when we need to. Is that right?
When do you need what?
Like next week we need to pass up
Submit.
topic, right?
No. This one, group contract and fill a form.
Oh, okay. All right.
Group contract and fill a form, I think it's still generic. You can, it's not really much on the SPD, software project description. That one is, that's why I put here week 4.
All right. Okay. Understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Regarding project, yes, of course, regarding project especially. I will collect the leader's name later. Not sure when later. Next week lah. Because there are some of your friends do not register yet. That is my concern. Because it's still add and drop. So that's why I cannot finalize anything. Okay, anyone in this group who do not have group for the project yet? Mrs. now? Okay, Ahmad Ismail. Who else? Who else? This is group 1 and 2, right? Fahim. Okay, Ahmad Ismail can join Fahim. Who else? Fitri join 1, 2, 3. Who else? Why Adib Hariri say Badi Srija? Oh, Badi Srija do not have. Okay. Badi Srija, Fahim, Muhammad Fitri, Ahmad Ismail. 1, 2, 3, 4. Muhammad Adib has group, right? Okay. So you already have 4 members in the group. Anyone else? Okay, at the moment you have 4. I will invite other members later. So 4 of you can meet together. Okay, group WhatsApp I do not know, up to you. And then please discuss lah. Okay, you can start discuss. Alright, yeah, there is thank you for asking for group project, because I think there are something that I need to clarify as well. Project. Kita group project. Simple. Okay, you already have this, right? You already have this. This one is just a sample. Do not follow lah. This one, last time they have 10 students. Do not follow. Okay. Alright. So my concern here, you must really agree on the platform that you're going to communicate. Okay. So if you say that you want to use WhatsApp and Telegram in the group, within the group, then you must use that. Or if you say that any kind of communication, then you must say that. If not, if there is a conflict, then then your friend can say that you say that we want to use Telegram in the group contract, but then most of the time you discuss in the WhatsApp. That is not fair. Okay, because this is what you have to practice. You have learned this in the previous subject. Maybe last time you take this easily, but this is the time that you have to really take group contract seriously, especially for those in software engineering student, IS student. You are the one who going to be project manager. Group contract is like part of your life, going to be part of your life. Okay, so you must get used to this. You must know that when you talk about project, it's all about professional. There's no hanky-panky. Must be well written, very clear. Everything is clear, because especially now you are in everything online. You do not know what kind of challenges you're going to face for the next 10 weeks, So please put this. Okay, what happen if conflict? What happen if some do not have network connection? Okay, even me sometimes got network disruption, I'm worried as well. We still have not have 5G, right? So what's the point of buying iPhone 12 if we don't have 5G? Should I pindah ke Langkawi or what? I'm not sure. Langkawi is really go for 5G. I'm in KL. Oh, what a joke. Oh my God. Sedih tau. Okay, never mind. So you must think about that. What happened if, let's say, your friend suddenly network disruption, one thing. Another one, laptop kaput. What happened then? You must, and that happened like 1 week before the presentation, before reports, report submission. What should you do? All the risks, you must mention it here. You must agree among yourself. What would you do if this thing happen? Okay, so no cerita pasal iPhone 12. Deadlines, okay, conduct, how to conduct, clause. This one expect the member from the team. You can be as harsh as this. I do not mind. Okay, because it's if it's agreed among all the members, so why not? If one of the things violate is then expect lah. You inform me, then I will expand and move that person to another group or continue by herself. Right? This thing happen every semester. Okay. Okay. For this one, yeah. Okay. For this one, this one 5. All right. You got team role, right? So this part is the diagram part. Android phone. Malas cakap. Okay, for team role, don't play. This team role put who in charge for particular diagram. You got use case diagram, all. You don't have to mention here. Use case diagram, you don't have to mention here, okay? Because it's a responsibility to every single of the members, okay? But then, starting from activity diagram, class diagram, who in charge? Because marks is based on the person in charge. Let's say, someone who developed the class diagram did it wrong, okay? And then I will piss off lah most of the time. Then I will ask the person who developed the sequence diagram. Okay. And then definitely I will ask the leader. People who relate to that diagram, I will question as well. It's not like, okay, you in charge on class diagram, and then if something wrong with the class diagram, you the one who got will be penalized. No, I will question the rest as well because it's related, So this is a good project. So each diagram has its own, it has relationship between the diagrams. So you cannot be alone. Okay. Alright, and then okay, this one I will sign lah later. Or another example. Okay, so that is a group project. Filler form is a breakdown of responsibility. Okay, breakdown of the responsibility, how you decompose your task. Okay, I think that's all. Any other question before we leave? Because I have another group 3 and 4. Ada soalan? Tak ada? Okay, tak ada. Then that's all for today. See you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday in lecture, we will start with the tutorial 2 and then we continue with the lecture, use case diagram. Alright, see you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.